Okay, so I'm Grasswalker and welcome back to the Omniscience draft. It's nighttime now, which is not good for the lighting, but I've turned the flashlight on my phone. Whew. So hopefully with that reflecting off the desk and not directly in my face, then we have some slightly better lighting, but still probably not very good. We're gonna see what we can do. I remember this deck's pretty okay. Again, you don't really want to mulligan, just losing one of your 3 cards is just too much. Unless you just draw 3 garbage cards. But we have tap draw, we have removal, we've got Dreadmalkin. This is pretty bad. But it's not as bad as it gets. Could be worse. Where it's such a slow hand, I'd rather not go first, because 1 card is very important. He's got a Death Toucher. He's got a big boy there. The only thing we can do is tap things, which would probably better to do defensively, but I'll probably want options. So we'll try and lock down that 4-5. That doesn't really help us. Could surprise him though. If we swing and he decides to block the menace, maybe he thinks that we've made a mistake. We can also hold it up and block, which is more likely to be successful. May as well throw down Ashok, get some milling going. He's playing all of his cards, so he didn't cut any.
I am your greatest.
Strange decision to make, because normally you have something bad. Ooh, that's nice! We got Jace's Triumph that was on top of his deck. The Rampage is just going to get his worst creature, which isn't very important. He's going to struggle to swing through anyway. Okay, he's using a Catharsis, that's okay.
My dreams dissipate.
We
Like
already played Ashiok and already got a bit of mill, so I'm not too worried about that. The 4-5s clog each other up. Technically my strike means we can 5-5 his 4-5 and kill it. If he doesn't start using... oh no! If he does something like this, then we still have Dreadmalkin to trade with the Stinger off of a Defiant Strike. But he doesn't seem to want any of that. So we're just going to eat it. We don't want to make a bad trade or lose cards, so we have life to spare. The game's paused, so he has something that's instant speed. Narset's pretty strong. Stops him drawing more than once, so he can't chain things like Jace's Triumph. Because you get your draw for the start of the turn, and then Jace's Triumph will just do nothing. Blind Blast, do nothing. Might also give me some cards. I think now using the Rampage is worth it, because 2-2 Death Touch is quite strong, and force damage on Narset. 6-7 is not going to get sacked, but the 3-3's big enough that I'm worried. We'll see what Narset gives us though. I want all my options available before I commit to anything. He's pausing. He doesn't actually have timers. Bolt Bend is interesting. You should sack a creature. Because he knows I have it. He knows I have it. So, is he going to do anything that is good on Bolt Bend? Probably not, no. It's got a couple options. We can chump with the Tithe Bearer, sack it to Dreadmalkin. Chump with the Dreadmalkin, keep the Tithe Bearer. It's actually an awkward call. We'll see what he swings with. Both at me. Okay. We'll do this, and then we'll Defiant Strike. That's a nice little use. We're going a bit low on health, but that's okay. We've got Narset locking down. He should have done that before attacking, because it gives them trample. Eugen's pretty strong here. We'll Tithe Bearer, even though we don't really have the health for it. In case he has a counter spell. Just test the field out. The game paused, so he might have one. Alright, let's get rid of that Manticore.
You understand. I should be gone.
Use Narset. If she's getting hit, she's gonna get hit. So I guess playing Tithe Bearer is a mistake, because now Kiora could have drawn as a card, but now won't. So I should have used Narset first, and then I would have had an extra card. Well, he knows I have it. The chance of it going off is quite low. 2 new cards is nicer. Proliferate's pretty good. We've got 3 Planeswalkers and a 1/1. Cycles itself straight away. Skulker's quite nice. There's no point attacking. We only have a Tithe Bearer. I guess we could threaten it and pretend that we have something. Because this is such an obvious mistake to make that he's going to let the damage through as expected. So every now and then, you can throw out these kind of bluffs. We could have used Kiora to untap it, but the chance of him getting a 4/5 through 2 creatures that bounce it back and 1 that can chump it, and totally lost to get rid of it, is quite low. We actually want him to try and get through, which he's not going to do. But if he didn't have an answer this turn, we're going to stop him having an answer next turn, because now we're just going to make him draw the Ceratok again. So if he couldn't handle any of this now, next turn he's only going to draw the Ceratok again. So he's in no better of a position. I'm going to start with the 2/2. And he gives up. We just got too far ahead, just too quickly. He started strong, but it just didn't work out for him. I think he should have tried to hit the Narset, because obviously she stops people chaining cards into cards, and we saw that he had stuff like Jace's Triumph. So I'm not quite sure why he let Narset live. She also draws me cards, so that's rough. This is an okay hand. God Pharaoh drops the Malkin. Manticore's huge. Then we get an Amass token and 2 new cards. So if you're mulliganing, you'd only be getting 2 new cards anyway. We'll see what the new cards are before committing to the Manticore, likewise. Because we might get a Kiora, which is the mistake we made last game. Kiora into a bunch of Tithe Bearers would have been awesome.
Welcome.
See, now we equalise the fact we drew cards. Because we drew cards to get to 33. Now he's just at 33. How much do we want to commit to the field? Risking something like Kaya's Wrath, which is a rare. It's a draft. He might have it, hopefully not. But we'll commit a little bit. We're going to hold the Manticore back. Which is okay to hold back because it has a mass, and this isn't going to have Summoning Sickness. Krenko's quite scary. It's going to make a lot of goblins. He's going to guarantee it comes back. He's thinking about killing Ashiok. He just hovered her and then touched his hand. He's going to get rid of a single Tithe Bearer. So that's an excellent trade for us. Because he 1-for-1'd a card that we got for free. Totally lost into Ashiok would have been nice to handle the Krenko because it would drop the Kaya's Ghost form. But we're gonna just swing hard. I should have played the Manticore. He's not blocking, obviously. Should have played the Manticore for 3 extra damage. Wouldn't have mattered. That's nice to know. It's very nice to know. Chance he has 2 counter spells. He doesn't. Let's drop the rest of his deck out.
This has been
Now he's at risk in the long game, because in a format where everyone's cycling cards and drawing more cards, and Vivian's Grizzly's going to be drawing him a load of cards, he might run out. If we've taken a lot from him. If he swings, we might be in trouble with the Krenko. That's an interesting Dam Breaker play, because nothing has anything on it yet. So it's just a 5/6. But that's big. Not as big as the Worm, though. Hoping for something good. Grizzly's okay. It's an acceptable play. There's a chance it gives us something else. Now we're both going to be getting cards each turn. But obviously he doesn't have much of a deck to play with. Oh, we got Kiora, that's nice. Okay, he just gave up at Kiora, even though it's an interesting place to give up because we didn't have any creatures to go off Kiora with and start spamming out stuff. But maybe he just thought like, oh, I missed my Vivians and he got his Vivians, so I'll just give up. It was a real quick game, so we're going to try and squeeze another one in this video. Because the last video was one really long, excellent game, a lot of back and forth, but this has been a couple of quick ones. Tidebearer, hoping it dies, and then Bond of Revival's nice. All of his stuff is quite strong, so Angros Rampage might be good here. We have our own Manticore. Because he's going to be sacking stuff with the Soul Diviner. And this would put a stop to that. I guess when he removes the first counter, then we Bind Blast it, depending on what he sacks. So we'll make him sack something, and he's going to be thinking, ooh, well, the zombie army draws me cards. Draws me technically 2 cards. So maybe he'll sack the Manticore. Or he might just get rid of the army, and then, yeah. So now he doesn't get to draw cards, which is nice. And hopefully he starts killing some of my stuff, because I want to bring it back. Otherwise, Wonder Revival is going to be a dead card. That is the risk of this, having it in your first couple of cards. But, on the other hand, it represents the best creature in your graveyard, which is generally going to be better than a random card. So I like playing it. I guess that I think that it's worth the risk. He's swinging. I'm definitely open to him killing some of my stuff. He has to do something. Because there's no way he just lets this happen. 2 creatures deal damage to another creature. Okay. So he's going to snipe one, and then they'll bounce off each other. Or so he thinks, because I'm going to Blind Blast it. Ah, that's interesting. We both had removal to clean up the mess. That's actually kind of cute. Rouse Outburst is really good. 3 damage and then pick a card, and then play that card. But it gives you a choice. So that's really strong. He's going to have something good here, I think. Alright. We definitely want to bring back Tidebearer. But we'll risk a Narset. Okay, he doesn't have anything, it doesn't seem like.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
There is a creature to proliferate and a Narset. So I guess we'll just take another card. Wonder Revival, bring back Tidebearer. Ooh, now we have exile a creature proliferate. We have tokens. We should have used Contentious, because we might draw something that has counters. We didn't, but we could have. Take that away from him. Now we're going to hit him for a whole bunch of damage. He's in a lot of danger here. He can't draw more than 1 card. He needs to answer the field. That's not going to be good enough. He needed to use Blind Blast in my turn. He made a terrible mistake. This format's interesting because every decision matters a lot because you have so few cards and every card's so cheap to play. But we got 3 wins, we played for 15 minutes. I think we'll call it here. Thank you guys for joining me. This run is actually going really well. We'll see if we can keep it up. Might be able to get to 7. I like these greedy formats with a lot of interesting twists. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.